Everyone. I just finished writing a LinkedIn article and I wanted to come on here and share it with you because it was a real big aha for me. So, this is the confidence hack that every ambitious woman wants to know. The point of this article is that high achievers do not wing it. Here is how to show up like a professional. So, we juxtapose being a perfectionist with being a professional all the time, but we assume that these tendencies are being a perfectionist. But perfectionist tendencies are rooted in our own feelings of inadequacy and not being enough. But being a professional is rooted in keeping promises to yourself and producing high caliber work. Now, I argue in this article that producing high caliber work requires you to do a couple of dress rehearsals to prepare in advance of a big a presentation, a workshop, a meeting, an interview. That's not being a perfectionist, but in fact, that's being a professional and signaling to yourself that you take yourself seriously and the opportunities that you're given, you take those seriously too. And so you prepare for them, you rehearse. Okay. The aha moment for this article came because I am taking my family on a trip to Disney. And there's an expression that the way you do anything is the way that you do everything. And so my background in my, K through 12 and like up until freshman year of college, I was in the drama club. Let me stop sharing my screen so you can see me a little bit more. And then I'll go back to the article. So from like sixth grade to my freshman year of college, I was in the drama club, like in church, in school, and then in college. A part of that process is you are memorizing and rehearsing lines, but you also have dress rehearsals before a big show. And my daughter's home, and so I may pause Zoom in case all of a sudden I'm trying to pick back up where I left off. So we do dress rehearsals. We would do 2 and 3 dress rehearsals before a live performance. So this is kind of my conditioning. Same thing when you are going for a job interview. There are commonly asked interview questions, and a great place that I love to get those is from Glassdoor because they're specific. People can say specifically the type of questions they've been asked for whatever role it is you're interviewing for. Oh my goodness, I jumped right into this video and didn't even introduce myself. If this is the first time you're finding my channel, hi, my name is Julia, and I run a coaching practice called Faith and Flourish Group. I am an empowerment and wellness coach, and I work with driven, ambitious women like you who may be accused of being a perfectionist when really you're just a professional. Um, I work with ambitious and driven women like you who are feeling stuck despite achieving so many markers of success. So, if this type of content resonates with you, please subscribe to my channel. Please follow me on LinkedIn, which is where I post these personal development articles. And if you are looking to share real time and space with me, please reach out for my coaching. We break down your goals to either a short-term goal, which creates a shorter engagement for us, or a long-term goal, which by extension creates a longer engagement for us. Okay, so I'm giving you my background, sharing with you that when you prepare for interviews, you can look at what type of questions you'd be asked for that role that you're going for so that you can prepare stories that capture your professional narrative in a way that's succinct. You don't want long, rambling answers in an interview, and a way that makes you feel like you got your point across about how you've previously handled certain situations. Okay, so I'm packing for this Disney trip, and the way that you do anything is the way that you do everything. Just like when I'm preparing to do a presentation, I do workshops here on my YouTube channel. I prepare what I'm going to say in those workshops in advance. So, and I do workshops all the time. It's a forum that I really love because I don't have to memorize my script. I have my talking points and then I just share extemporaneously, as things come up, and it allows my presentation, that conversation style, to be more organic, but I am putting in work in advance of that. So as I'm packing my kids for Disney, I'm doing this days before the flight. So my sister comes over, helps me pick out all the clothes that I'm going to pack for myself and my children. My husband packs himself. So I'm looking at like, how many socks, how many pants, how many shorts, how many everything, toothbrush, body lotion, chapstick, everything, collapsible water bottle, pen, paper, crayons, for the plane, gum, um, ibuprofen, anything that we could possibly need days before our flight leaves. So then 3 days before the flight leaves, I bought these new vacuum seal packing cubes that somebody on YouTube said was like a travel must-have. So I got them on Amazon. So I did the packing cubes and I did them flat. And I didn't love how they came out, but I was like, let me sleep on it because I have, 2 days before our flight leaves, and see if any ideas kind of marinate, in the back of our brain. The way that we learn, we have latent learning skills. And so if you have any projects, presentations, workshops, papers due, if you allow yourself a couple of days before the actual due date, the drop dead deadline, latent learning can percolate in the back of your mind that you may get different ideas. And if you've given yourself enough advance notice, you can go back and add in those new ideas that came in because of that latent learning that you allowed your brain some space to process. So I think to myself, I don't love how these packing cubes came out, but we'll see if any better ideas come to me. So the 2 days before we leave, I'm driving and all of a sudden it clicks. You slid everything in this direction. What if you packed everything in that bag from top to bottom? And because I wasn't in a rush to leave and, oh my God, the bags have to be packed, we're checking this luggage, there's not going to be time to do the vacuum seal again and blah, blah, blah. But because I give myself time, that's a habit that I've developed from being somebody who does dress rehearsals, somebody who rehearses their interview answers. When I'm writing papers for school, I'm currently earning my doctorate. I give myself time before the deadline to review things and possibly have somebody else review or proofread what I've written. So, what's the point? That my coach told me that that was being a perfectionist. Now, the more you get educated in personal development, the more you can challenge, reject, criticize, and criticism not in like the way that people talk about criticism like judgment, but criticism as like a critical thinking skill. So critically analyzing something. You can evaluate the feedback that you get from people to see if it rings true for you. And so I'm not going to flat out say I'm not a perfectionist because I do think that there can be areas where I'm coming from that place of inadequacy and not enough. So I'm not going to flat out say I'm absolutely not a perfectionist. But what I am going to say is in areas where I feel really confident, I'm not being a perfectionist, I'm being a professional. And I would argue, let me go back to sharing this article, I would argue that high achievers don't wing it. Okay, you're here because something in my content is resonating with you. You are driven, you are ambitious, you are a high achiever, and you too do not wing it. Okay, you too do not wing it. Um, I go on to share there is a power in rehearsing life's performances. Why is there power in that? Because rehearsal gives you an opportunity to refine your narrative and present yourself as a professional who's both prepared and confident. Okay, what is the connection to confidence in preparation? Okay, for ambitious women like you, if you are preparing for a life transition, by showing up as a professional, you are saying, I take myself seriously. I am worthy of success. And that transformation right there can very much lead you to a partner in that transformation. By partner, I mean somebody like myself, um, an empowerment and wellness coach. Okay. So the key takeaways that I want you to think about is perfectionism is not professionalism. Okay. You want to be prepared, but don't focus on flawlessness because, as I said, that prevents things from feeling organic. Okay. Rehearse for success. In my case, whether it's packing for a trip or if it's preparing for an interview, practice is going to refine your approach. Confidence comes from accountability. And if you keep promises to yourself that you are going to give yourself buffer time in between when it's showtime and when you get that assignment, keeping promises to yourself to use that buffer time wisely, that is the foundation of self-trust. I argue that you can flourish right where you are. A lot of times we think, let me stop sharing. A lot of times we think if we got a fresh start somewhere else, whether it's a new job, a new relationship, a new car, a new city, whatever it is, that fresh start is going to change us. No, you show up to those spaces the same person. You need to change yourself right where you are and bloom where you're planted. Now, change yourself right where you are. That sounds super critical, and I don't mean it to come across that way. What I mean is your internal posture. You internally stand different within yourself right where you are, right in the current job that you have, right in the current vehicle that you drive, right in the current city that you live in. When you internally change your posture, you can have a completely different experience right where you are. Okay. Internally changing your posture. Coaching is a great place to do this because it's a process. It's a process. There's nothing I could tell you on a YouTube video that's going to make up for 12 months or 1 year of coaching. So I hope that this video gave you value. And again, going back here, I wanted to share with you the confidence hack that every ambitious woman needs to know. Do a dress rehearsal for anything and everything in life. The worst that can happen is that you feel prepared. And as far as I'm concerned, that is the best thing that can happen. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. In my description on this video is going to be a link to my website. A discovery call with me is free at no charge. Share real time and space with me. I'm very eager to help you reach your dreams.